as the sun rose over the gleaming alien metropolis, casting golden hues across its sleek, silver architecture. Two figures stood at the heart of the Grand Sky Plaza. Suspended high above the clouds, the plaza was a marvel of engineering, a place where gravity defied logic, and the very air hummed with the promise of unity. One figure was distinctly human Ambassador Marcus Caldwell, a man known for his calm demeanor and exceptional negotiation skills. His sharp suit contrasted sharply with the vast alien landscape that surrounded him. In his eyes there was a mix of resolve and hope, tempered by the weight of the mission that had brought him here. The other figure, tall and imposing, belonged to the Selran race. The Selran envoy, Arixos, stood beside him, its smooth, translucent skin shimmering under the morning light. Its body, encased in a natural armor that appeared more elegant than menacing, reflected the bioengineered perfection of its kind. Despite their physical differences, there was an unmistakable understanding between them, a shared moment that transcended species. As they shook hands, a gesture that had become symbolic between their people, Marcus felt a rush of emotions: relief, pride, and a lingering sense of awe. The handshake was more than just an agreement, it was the culmination of years of work, struggle, and the relentless pursuit of peace. It was a symbol of hope that humans and Selrans could not only coexist but thrive together. In the distance, massive starships hovered in the sky, silently observing the dawn of a new era. It had taken decades of mistrust, skirmishes, and political strife to reach this moment. The signing of the Celestial Accord, the agreement that would unite Earth and the Selran Federation, marked the first true step toward a galaxy united by peace rather than conflict. Years earlier, when humans first ventured into the deeper stretches of space, they had been met with hostility and fear from the Selrans. To the Selrans, humanity was brash, unpredictable, and dangerously ambitious. Their expansion into Selran claimed territories had been seen as a threat, igniting skirmishes along the borders of their systems. Many believed that war was inevitable. Marcus remembered those early days of diplomacy. The tense meetings in neutral space stations, the heated exchanges that often ended in stalemates, and the sense of looming disaster. His first encounter with Arixos had been no different. The Selran envoy had regarded him with cold detachment, their conversations stilted and filled with mistrust. But over time, something had changed. There had been one pivotal moment, a catastrophe that had forced both species to reconsider their path. A rogue asteroid, massive enough to obliterate entire planets, had been on a collision course with the Selran homeworld. Despite their advanced technology, the Selrans had been unable to stop it. The asteroid's trajectory was too unpredictable, its speed too great. Desperation had set in, and that's when humanity had intervened. Against orders from Earth's high command, Marcus had led a coalition of human engineers and scientists to assist the Selrans. Together, they had developed a plan to divert the asteroid, utilizing both species' strengths. It had been a dangerous mission, one that could have easily ended in disaster. But in those harrowing hours, as human and Selran worked side by side, a bond had formed. The asteroid was successfully diverted, and the Selran homeworld was saved. The event had been a turning point, a moment where both species realized that cooperation, not conflict, would determine their future. As Marcus and Arixos walked together across the Sky Plaza, they passed under the shadow of the Intergalactic Council Tower, a massive structure that symbolized the newfound unity between their worlds. The tower, designed jointly by human and Selran architects, was a marvel of aesthetic harmony, its design blending human ambition with Selran grace. "You've come a long way," Ambassador Arixos spoke, its voice smooth and resonant, a blend of soft tones that conveyed both authority and empathy. "When we first met, I never imagined we would stand here, as allies." Marcus smiled, though there was a trace of weariness in his eyes. "Neither did I, Arixos. But it was never just about survival, was it? It was about finding a way to move forward together." Arixos inclined its head, its deep-set eyes glimmering with understanding. "We were both blinded by our fears. Your people, our people. But now we can see clearly." As they neared the edge of the plaza, they looked out over the alien city. Towers rose high into the sky, some floating on platforms of light, others embedded in the clouds themselves. Below, transport crafts zipped through the air, carrying citizens of both species as they went about their daily lives. "This is just the beginning," Marcus said quietly. "There's so much more to do. So many wounds to heal, and not just between our two species. The galaxy is vast, and there are others out there, others who need to see what's possible. Arixos nodded. The Celestial Accord is a foundation, but the structure is yet to be built. That evening, a grand ceremony was held in the plaza. Delegates from both Earth and the Selran Federation were present, alongside representatives from other allied species. The air buzzed with excitement and anticipation. This was a historic moment, one that would be remembered for generations. As Marcus stood before the gathered crowd, he felt the weight of their expectations. But more than that, he felt the enormity of the opportunity before them. He began his speech, his voice steady and confident. Today we stand on the precipice of a new age. An age where the barriers that once divided us are being torn down. For too long we allowed our differences to define us, to dictate our actions. But today we choose a different path, a path of unity, of cooperation, and of mutual respect. He paused, his eyes scanning the crowd. The Celestial Accord is not just an agreement between Earth and the Selran Federation. It is a declaration to the galaxy that peace is possible. That through understanding and collaboration, we can achieve greatness beyond our wildest dreams. The crowd erupted into applause, and Marcus felt a surge of emotion. This was what he had worked for, what so many had sacrificed for. As he concluded his speech, Arixos stepped forward, addressing the audience in its own melodic language. Though many could not understand the words, the meaning was clear. Together, they had forged a future that was brighter and more hopeful than any they had ever known. After the ceremony, as the celebrations continued late into the night, Marcus found himself standing on a balcony overlooking the city. The stars above twinkled brightly, and the distant hum of starships filled the air. Arixos joined him, standing silently for a moment before speaking. "Do you think they'll remember this night?" it asked. Marcus chuckled softly. "I hope so. But more importantly, I hope they remember what it represents." Arixos nodded, its gaze fixed on the horizon. "This is only the beginning, Marcus. There will be challenges ahead, obstacles we can't yet foresee. But we've shown that we can overcome them." Marcus turned to his Selran counterpart, a sense of calm washing over him. "We've built something incredible here, Arixos. Not just a treaty, but a bond. And as long as we hold on to that, I believe we can face whatever comes." As the two stood there, side by side, watching the alien sun set beyond the distant mountains, they knew that the journey ahead would not be easy. But for the first time in a long time, they faced the future with hope, not just for their people, but for the galaxy as a whole. And in that moment, as the stars began to shimmer against the deepening sky, Marcus allowed himself to believe that peace was not just a dream, but a reality they could build together.